What if a small coin sitting quietly in an old drawer, coin jar, or forgotten collection could be worth far more than its face value? Today we're taking a closer look at the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, one of the most widely collected 5-cent coins in American history. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary coin that millions of people have handled over the decades, but hidden within certain examples are details, conditions, and varieties that collectors actively search for. The question is simple: could your 1964 nickel be one of them? The story of the Jefferson nickel began in 1938 when it replaced the Buffalo nickel. The coin features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1964, the United States was experiencing a nationwide coin shortage. Americans were saving coins faster than they were returning them into circulation, and the U.S. Mint responded by producing enormous quantities of nickels. In fact, 1964 became one of the highest mintage years in Jefferson nickel history, with more than 1 billion examples struck between Philadelphia and Denver. Because so many were produced, most 1964 nickels remain common today. However, that doesn't mean every example is worth only 5 cents. Condition is often the factor that separates an ordinary coin from a collectible one. A heavily worn coin that spent decades in circulation may be worth little, more than face value. But a well-preserved coin with strong details, original luster, and minimal wear can attract significantly more interest from collectors. When examining a 1964 Jefferson nickel, collectors pay special attention to Jefferson's hair details, the cheek area, the jawline, and the sharpness of Monticello on the reverse. Coins that retain crisp, architectural details and strong steps leading to the Monticello building are especially desirable. In the collecting world, these are known as full steps nickels. Full steps examples are much scarcer because the design details had to be struck exceptionally well and remain preserved over time. One reason the 1964 Jefferson nickel continues to attract attention is the possibility of valuable varieties and minting errors. During periods of intense coin production, mistakes can occur. Collectors search for doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and other unusual characteristics. While most coins will not display these features, finding a genuine error can dramatically increase a coin's value. Another important factor is grading. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on preservation, wear, strike quality, and eye appeal. Coins receiving mint state grades can command substantially higher prices than circulated examples. A typical circulated 1964 nickel may be worth only a small amount above face value, while high-grade mint state coins can sell for much more. Full steps examples and premium grades have achieved especially impressive auction results over the years. Now let's talk about the coin itself. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. Unlike the wartime silver nickels of the 1940s, the standard 1964 nickel contains no silver. Because of this, its value comes primarily from collectability, condition, rarity, and potential mint errors rather than precious metal content. Many people overlook nickels because they focus on older silver coins, rare pennies, or historic dollars. Yet experienced collectors understand that modern-era nickels can sometimes hide surprising value. A coin that appears ordinary to the average person may reveal a rare variety or exceptional preservation under closer inspection. That's why knowledgeable collectors inspect every detail carefully before spending or dismissing a coin. If you own a 1964 Jefferson nickel, take a moment to examine it under good lighting and magnification. Look for unusual doubling, strong strike details, original surfaces, and signs of a premium quality specimen. Even if the coin turns out to be a common example, understanding its history and significance makes it far more interesting than the average pocket change coin. The 1964 Jefferson nickel represents a fascinating chapter in American coinage history. It was produced during a time of unprecedented demand, circulated through decades of economic change, and remains a favorite among collectors today. Millions were made, millions were spent, and millions still exist. Yet hidden among them may be a coin with exceptional quality, a rare variety, or a valuable error that sets it apart from the rest. So before you spend that old nickel or leave it forgotten in a drawer, take a closer look. The next valuable coin discovery doesn't always come from a treasure chest, a museum collection, or an auction house. Sometimes it begins with a simple coin that people have overlooked for years. And perhaps, just perhaps, Your 1964 Jefferson nickel could be one worth remembering.